Starting off our list is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which takes the realistic medieval RPG experience to unprecedented heights with its intricate combat system and historically accurate 15th century Bohemia setting. The game builds upon everything that made the original exceptional, while refining the mechanics and expanding the world significantly, with new regions to explore and political intrigue that affects every decision you make. Combat feels weighty and deliberate, where every sword clash matters, and positioning is crucial to survival against multiple opponents. The storyline continues Henry's journey as he becomes entangled in wars and conspiracies that shape the fate of kingdoms, with choices that have far-reaching consequences throughout the massive open world. Visually stunning on PS5, with incredible attention to detail in architecture, clothing, and environmental design that makes you feel transported back in time. Side activities range from blacksmithing to alchemy and even participating in large-scale sieges that showcase the game's ambitious scope and dedication to immersion. Moving forward to Civilization VII, which revolutionizes the legendary strategy franchise with groundbreaking mechanics that transform how you build and manage your empire across different ages of human history. The new Age system creates distinct gameplay phases where your civilization evolves and adapts, forcing you to make strategic decisions about which path to take as you progress from antiquity through modern times. Diplomacy has been completely overhauled, with more nuanced relationships between leaders and the ability to form complex alliances that shift based on your actions and global events. The PS5 version runs incredibly smooth, with shortened load times and beautiful presentation that makes managing your sprawling empire feel more engaging than ever before. Each civilization feels unique, with special abilities and units that encourage different playstyles, whether you prefer military conquest, cultural dominance, or scientific advancement. Multiplayer support lets you compete against friends in epic matches that can span dozens of hours as you race to achieve victory through various win conditions. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed Shadows, bringing the franchise to feudal Japan, with dual protagonists offering completely different gameplay experiences in the same richly detailed historical setting. You can play as Naoe, a traditional shinobi assassin who excels at stealth, parkour, and silent eliminations using classic hidden blade tactics, or switch to Yasuke, a powerful samurai who approaches missions with direct combat and brute force. The world is absolutely gorgeous, showcasing Japanese architecture from bustling castle towns to serene temples hidden in misty mountains, with dynamic weather and seasonal changes affecting gameplay. Stealth mechanics have been refined to be more responsive and satisfying, with improved AI that reacts intelligently to your presence, making infiltrations challenging and rewarding. Combat as Yasuke feels brutal and impactful, with a stance-based system that lets you adapt to different enemy types, while Naoe focuses on agility and precision strikes. The narrative explores themes of honor, duty, and identity during a tumultuous period of Japanese history, with memorable characters and plot twists that keep you invested throughout the lengthy campaign. Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii takes the beloved series in a wildly entertaining direction, as fan-favorite Goro Majima becomes an amnesiac pirate captain seeking treasure and answers across tropical islands. The game perfectly blends the series' trademark over-the-top humor with swashbuckling adventure, featuring naval combat, ship customization, and classic brawler gameplay with ridiculous heat actions. Hawaii serves as a vibrant playground, filled with activities from beach volleyball to underground fighting tournaments and treasure hunting minigames that provide endless entertainment between story missions. Combat introduces new pirate-themed weapons and abilities while maintaining the satisfying punch of the Yakuza series, with enhanced graphics on PS5 making every encounter visually spectacular. Majima's personality shines through every moment, whether he's engaging in serious dramatic scenes or absolutely absurd comedic situations that only this franchise could pull off. Side stories are abundant and just as engaging as the main plot, featuring memorable characters and scenarios that range from heartwarming to completely bonkers in true Yakuza fashion. Sniper Elite Resistance continues the tactical shooter franchise with intense World War II missions that demand patience, precision, and strategic thinking as you eliminate high-value targets across occupied France. The signature X-ray kill cam returns more detailed than ever, showing the devastating impact of your perfectly placed shots in gruesome slow motion that never gets old. Each mission offers multiple approaches, from ghost-like stealth to setting elaborate traps and distractions that let you manipulate enemy patrols into vulnerable positions. The campaign features a compelling storyline about the French resistance movement, with authentic historical details and locations that ground the action in reality. Weapon customization allows you to fine-tune your loadout with different scopes, suppressors, and ammunition types that affect bullet drop, wind resistance, and penetration power. Multiplayer modes provide tense competitive experiences, and cooperative missions where teamwork and communication are essential to completing objectives and surviving against overwhelming enemy forces. Dynasty Warriors Origins reimagines the classic hack-and-slash series with a fresh perspective on the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era, featuring tighter, more focused combat and strategic elements. You play as a nameless hero caught in the massive conflicts between legendary warlords, experiencing iconic battles from a new narrative angle that adds depth to familiar events. Combat has been streamlined to feel more impactful, with each strike carrying weight, while still allowing you to mow down hundreds of soldiers in spectacular fashion. The battlefield feels alive, with allied and enemy officers engaging in their own duels, while you decide where your presence is needed most to turn the tide. Special abilities and combination attacks create visually stunning moments where you can decimate entire battalions with godlike power that makes you feel unstoppable. PS5 performance ensures smooth frame rates, even when the screen is filled with soldiers, creating an impressive spectacle that showcases what the console can achieve. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD brings the classic platformer to modern consoles with gorgeous updated visuals that preserve the tight gameplay and challenging level design that made the original so beloved. Every level has been beautifully remastered with enhanced textures, lighting, and effects, while maintaining the art style and charm that define the Wii version. The platforming demands precision timing and quick reflexes as you navigate through treacherous environments filled with enemies, hazards, and secrets waiting to be discovered. Co-op mode lets you team up with a friend to tackle levels together, adding a fun dynamic where teamwork can make difficult sections easier or hilariously chaotic. Collecting all the puzzle pieces in Kong Ladders provides plenty of challenge for completionists who want to master every aspect of each meticulously crafted stage. Boss battles are creative and memorable, requiring you to learn patterns and exploit weaknesses while avoiding devastating attacks that can end your run quickly. Elden Ring Nightreign expands the masterpiece that is Elden Ring with a standalone, cooperative-focused experience that challenges players to survive against increasingly difficult threats in a condensed time limit. The game takes the punishing yet fair combat that From Software is known for and applies it to a session-based structure where each run presents different challenges and rewards. You'll explore a new region of the Lands Between, filled with terrifying enemies, powerful bosses, and environmental hazards that test your skills and coordination with teammates. Character builds remain deeply customizable, with new weapons, spells, and abilities that encourage experimentation and synergy between different playstyles within your group. The atmosphere is darker and more oppressive than the base game, with a constant sense of urgency as the night cycle brings even greater dangers. Loot and progression systems have been adjusted to fit the roguelike elements, ensuring each run feels meaningful, even when you inevitably meet a brutal death at the hands of some monstrous creature. Tales of Grace's F Remastered brings back one of the finest entries in the Tales series, with updated graphics, quality of life improvements, and all previously released DLC included. The combat system remains one of the best in JRPG history, with its CC-based chain capacity mechanic that rewards skillful play and understanding enemy weaknesses through strategic arte usage. Characters are endearing and well-developed, with relationships that evolve naturally throughout the story as they face personal struggles and world-threatening dangers together. The dual arc structure provides two distinct storylines that complement each other, offering different perspectives on events and character motivations that deepen the overall narrative. Skits are plentiful and charming, giving insight into character personalities and providing lighthearted moments between intense story beats that keep the pacing balanced. PS5 enhancements make the game run flawlessly at high resolution and frame rates, while preserving the anime aesthetic that fans love about the series. Avowed delivers Obsidian Entertainment's signature storytelling and choice-driven gameplay in a first-person fantasy RPG set in the world of Eora from the Pillars of Eternity series. The Living Lands region you explore is visually diverse, ranging from lush forests to dangerous swamps and ancient ruins filled with mysteries and hostile creatures. Combat blends magic and melee seamlessly, allowing you to wield spells in one hand and weapons in the other, creating dynamic encounters where you adapt tactics based on enemy types. Companion characters are complex and well-written, with their own motivations, agendas, and quest lines that intersect with the main story in meaningful ways, depending on your choices. Dialogue options are extensive, giving you multiple approaches to situations, whether through diplomacy, intimidation, or deception, with consequences that ripple throughout the game world. The PS5 version showcases beautiful lighting and environmental details that bring the fantasy setting to life, while maintaining stable performance during intense combat sequences. Monster Hunter Wilds takes the franchise to breathtaking new heights, with vast ecosystems, dynamic weather systems, and the most ambitious creature roster yet seen in the series. The seamless open-world design eliminates loading between zones, letting you track monsters across different biomes as they interact with their environment and other creatures naturally. Hunting mechanics have been refined with new tools and abilities that give you more options for approaching each encounter, whether you prefer aggressive combat or strategic preparation. Each monster behaves uniquely, with complex AI patterns that change based on their health status, environmental conditions, and what other creatures are nearby, creating unpredictable, exciting hunts. Weapon movesets have been expanded with new combos and techniques, while maintaining the weighty, deliberate feel that makes Monster Hunter combat so satisfying to master. Multiplayer is seamless, allowing friends to join your hunts easily and tackle the most challenging Elder Dragons together in epic battles that push your skills to the limit. The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak 2 continues the politically charged storyline from the first game with improved combat systems, deeper character development, and shocking revelations about Calvard's underworld. The dual protagonist system lets you experience events from different perspectives as you navigate the gray moral landscape where right and wrong aren't always clearly defined. Combat introduces new mechanics and S-crafts while refining the action-based system that made the first game's battles feel more dynamic than previous Trails entries. World building remains incredibly detailed, with every NPC having unique dialogue that changes based on story progression and your actions throughout the sprawling urban environments. The soundtrack is phenomenal, featuring emotional orchestral pieces and energetic battle themes that enhance every moment, whether you're exploring cities or fighting powerful adversaries. Fans of the long-running series will appreciate how this entry connects to previous arcs, while newcomers can still enjoy the self-contained story with enough context provided. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition brings the ambitious Wii U JRPG to modern consoles, with enhanced visuals, additional content, and quality-of-life improvements that make exploring Planet Mira more enjoyable than ever. The science fiction setting is unique among Xenoblade games, featuring mech combat, open-world exploration, and a story focused on humanity's survival on an alien world. Skells, transforming mechs, become available after progression, allowing you to traverse the massive continents quickly and engage in spectacular large-scale battles against enormous creatures. Character customization is extensive, letting you build your avatar and party members with different classes, weapons, and skills that suit various playstyles, from tanking to healing to DPS. The world is filled with secrets, dangerous high-level enemies wandering the landscape, and beautiful vistas that reward exploration with breathtaking views and valuable resources. Multiplayer elements have been improved, making it easier to team up with other players for challenging squad missions that test your coordination and build optimization. Phantom Blade Zero showcases stunning martial arts combat with intricate combos, perfect parries, and brutal executions, set in a dark fantasy version of ancient China. The Souls-like difficulty demands mastery of the combat system, where timing and positioning are crucial to surviving encounters with deadly enemies and punishing bosses. Visually, the game is absolutely gorgeous on PS5, with fluid animations, detailed character models, and environmental design that blends traditional Chinese aesthetics with supernatural elements. The semi-open world structure encourages exploration, with hidden areas, optional bosses, and lore scattered throughout levels that reward thorough investigation. Character progression offers multiple skill trees and weapon types that allow you to customize your playstyle, whether you prefer aggressive rushdown tactics or defensive counterattacks. The story delves into themes of revenge, redemption, and the cost of power, with a protagonist whose dark path drives him through increasingly dangerous confrontations with mysterious organizations. Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land, continues the beloved crafting-focused JRPG series with a new protagonist exploring themes of memory and the power of creation. The alchemy system is as deep and engaging as ever, requiring you to gather materials, experiment with recipes, and synthesize items that aid in combat, exploration, and progression. Combat blends turn-based strategy with real-time elements, creating a hybrid system that keeps battles engaging while allowing for tactical planning. The world is colorful and charming, filled with quirky characters, interesting locations, and a storyline that balances lighthearted moments with more serious, emotional beats. Gathering resources is relaxing and rewarding as you explore different regions, each with unique materials that unlock new crafting possibilities and powerful equipment. Time management has been adjusted to be less restrictive than older entries, letting you enjoy the story and side content without constant pressure from deadlines. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach expands Kojima's unique vision with new mechanics, expanded multiplayer features, and a story that continues Sam Porter Bridges' journey through a changed America. The traversal gameplay that defined the first game returns, with new tools, vehicles, and abilities that make navigating treacherous terrain even more engaging and strategic. Combat options have been increased, giving you more ways to deal with BTs, mules, and other threats, without sacrificing the game's emphasis on connection and cooperation. The celebrity cast delivers powerful performances, bringing emotional weight to a narrative that explores humanity's relationship with death, life, and the bonds that connect us all. Asynchronous multiplayer has been enhanced, with more ways to help other players through shared structures, equipment, and resources, creating a genuine sense of community despite the isolated setting. Visually stunning environments range from desolate wastelands to lush valleys, with the Decima engine pushing PS5 hardware to create photorealistic landscapes and weather effects. Ys Memoire, The Oath, and Felghana brings back the classic action RPG with updated graphics, enhanced gameplay, and all the fast-paced combat that makes the Ys series so addictive. Adal Kristen's adventure takes him to the land of Felghana, where he uncovers ancient mysteries, confronts powerful bosses, and saves the world from catastrophic destruction. The combat system is simple yet satisfying, emphasizing quick reflexes, dodging, and learning enemy patterns to overcome challenging encounters that test your skills. Boss fights are the highlight, featuring multi-phase battles with epic music and attack patterns that require precision timing to avoid devastating moves. Exploration rewards thoroughness, with hidden items, secret areas, and optional challenges that provide powerful equipment for those willing to search every corner. The remaster preserves the spirit of the original while making it accessible to modern audiences with improved controls, visual effects, and a stellar soundtrack. Fatal Fury: City of the Wolves revitalizes the legendary fighting game franchise with gorgeous visuals, expanded roster, and mechanics that balance accessibility for newcomers with depth for competitive players. The Rev system introduces new offensive and defensive options that create dynamic exchanges, where momentum can shift rapidly based on smart reads and execution. Each character has been beautifully redesigned, with detailed animations, fluid movements, and personality that shines through their fighting styles and victory poses. The story mode provides context for returning fighters and introduces new challengers with cinematic cutscenes and rivalries that give meaning to matches beyond simple competition. Online functionality is robust, with rollback netcode ensuring smooth matches and ranked modes that let you test your skills against players worldwide. Training mode is comprehensive, offering frame data, combo trials, and scenario practice that help you improve and understand the game's systems at a deep level. Synduality Echo of Ada combines mech action with survival elements as you explore a post-apocalyptic world filled with dangerous enemies, hostile factions, and valuable resources to scavenge. Your AI companion Ada provides tactical support, companionship, and commentary throughout missions, creating a bond that evolves based on your choices and performance. Mech customization is extensive, with weapon loadouts, armor upgrades, and cosmetic options that let you personalize your machine to match your preferred combat style. The world is atmospheric and oppressive, with ruined cities, toxic wastelands, and underground facilities hiding secrets about what caused humanity's downfall. PvPvE elements add tension as you compete with other players for resources while dealing with environmental hazards and AI-controlled enemies simultaneously. Base building and crafting systems give you reasons to return from missions and prepare for increasingly difficult expeditions into dangerous territories. Farmagia blends farming simulation with monster collecting RPG elements, creating a unique hybrid where you cultivate creatures and use them in strategic turn-based battles. The farming mechanics are relaxing and rewarding as you plant crops, raise monsters, and manage your land to create the most efficient farm possible. Monsters you raise can be deployed in combat, with different types offering various abilities and strengths that encourage experimentation with team compositions. The story follows your knight to become a great Farmagia master, while uncovering mysteries and facing rivals who challenge your skills and philosophies. The art style is vibrant and anime-inspired, with colorful character designs, expressive animations, and a world that feels alive with personality. Social elements let you visit other players' farms, trade monsters, and compete in friendly battles that showcase your carefully raised creatures. The Relic First Guardian offers tactical action gameplay, where you control a team of characters with unique abilities, fighting through procedurally generated dungeons filled with traps, enemies, and treasure. The permadeath system adds weight to every decision, as losing characters means starting over with new recruits, who must be trained and equipped properly. Combat requires careful positioning, use of character abilities, and environmental awareness to overcome increasingly challenging encounters and boss fights. Loot is randomized, with rare weapons, armor, and relics that dramatically change how characters perform and what strategies become viable. The pixel art style is gorgeous, with detailed sprites, smooth animations, and visual effects that make combat feel impactful despite the retro aesthetic. Multiple playable characters ensure variety across runs, with different team compositions leading to completely different gameplay experiences and strategies. Eternal Strands delivers third-person action-adventure gameplay where you battle massive creatures using physics-based combat, magic, and environmental interactions in a fantasy world. The Weaver protagonist can manipulate temperature and matter, letting you freeze enemies, set things ablaze, or alter the battlefield to gain tactical advantages. Boss battles are spectacular, requiring you to climb on giant creatures, target weak points, and use your powers creatively to bring down seemingly unstoppable foes. The world is filled with ruins, mysteries, and environmental storytelling that reveal the history of a civilization that fell to the very monsters you now hunt. Exploration is rewarding, with hidden paths, optional challenges, and upgrades that enhance your abilities and open new areas previously inaccessible. The PS5 version showcases impressive physics simulations and visual effects, especially during combat when ice, fire, and destruction fill the screen. Towers of Agaspa is a village-building and creature-nurturing game set on a vibrant island, where you restore ecosystems and help communities thrive through careful planning. The ecosystem simulation is detailed, with plants, animals, and environmental factors, all interacting in ways that affect what can grow and where settlements can expand. Building mechanics give you creative freedom to design villages according to your vision, while meeting the needs of inhabitants who have their own requests and personalities. Creatures you discover can be befriended, studied, and protected, with each species playing a role in the ecological balance you're trying to restore. Exploration reveals new biomes, resources, and mysteries about the island's past and the cataclysm that nearly destroyed it before your arrival. The art style is beautiful and whimsical, with a color palette and design philosophy that makes the world feel magical and worth protecting. Metal Slug Tactics transforms the Run and Gun arcade series into a turn-based tactical strategy game, while preserving the iconic art style and over-the-top action. The grid-based combat requires careful positioning, use of cover, and tactical abilities to overcome challenging scenarios with limited resources. Characters from throughout the series are playable, each with unique weapons, special abilities, and playstyles that encourage different approaches to missions. The hand-drawn pixel art is stunning, with animations that capture the frantic energy of the original games, despite the slower-paced tactical gameplay. Mission variety keeps the campaign engaging, with different objectives, environmental hazards, and enemy types that force you to adapt strategies constantly. Roguelike elements add replayability, with randomized elements and permanent upgrades that make subsequent runs feel progressively more powerful and satisfying. Killing Time Resurrected brings back the cult classic FPS with modern controls, enhanced visuals, and all the weird horror atmosphere that made the original memorable. The mansion you explore is filled with supernatural enemies, environmental puzzles, and secrets that reward thorough exploration and attention to detail. The story unfolds through ghostly visions, collectible items, and interactions with spectral NPCs, who provide context about the dark rituals that took place. Combat is old school, with various weapons, each effective against different enemy types, and a health system that encourages resource management and careful play. The PS5 version updates the graphics while maintaining the unique visual style and creepy ambiance that defined the original release. The speedrunning community has embraced the game, with routing optimization and sequence breaking, adding longevity beyond the initial playthrough.
Directive 820 puts you in command of a space station orbiting a hostile alien world, where you must manage resources, crew morale, and technological research while surviving constant threats. The strategic layer involves making tough decisions about what to prioritize with limited resources and time before the next crisis hits your station. Crew members have individual skills, personalities, and relationships that affect their performance and the overall atmosphere aboard the station. Random events create emergent narratives where your choices have consequences, sometimes helping you advance, and other times creating new problems to solve. The tech tree offers multiple paths to victory, whether through military strength, scientific advancement, or diplomatic solutions with neighboring factions. Visual presentation is clean and functional, with good UI design that makes managing complex systems intuitive, despite the depth of simulation.
Split Fiction is a cooperative adventure from the creators of It Takes Two, where two aspiring writers are pulled into their own stories and must work together to escape. Each level is themed around different genres, from science fiction to fantasy to horror, with gameplay mechanics that change dramatically to match the setting. Cooperation is mandatory, with puzzles and challenges specifically designed for two players, who must coordinate their actions and communicate effectively. The narrative explores creativity, the writing process, and the relationship between the two protagonists with humor, heart, and imaginative set pieces. Boss battles are creative and memorable, requiring teamwork, pattern recognition, and use of level-specific abilities to overcome larger-than-life threats. Visually diverse environments showcase impressive art direction, with each story world having its own distinct aesthetic and memorable moments that make progression feel constantly fresh. The Crush House is a unique reality TV simulation where you manage a house full of contestants while operating cameras to capture the most dramatic moments for viewers. The gameplay loop involves following contestants, predicting conflicts, and ensuring you film content that satisfies audience demands, who vote on what they want to see. Behind-the-scenes mechanics reveal a darker story about the production company and what really happens when cameras stop rolling, adding mystery and tension. Decision-making affects contestant relationships, storylines, and ultimately what endings become available based on your choices throughout the season. The retro VHS aesthetic and fourth wall-breaking elements create an unsettling atmosphere that contrasts with the seemingly lighthearted premise. Multiple playthroughs reveal new secrets and story branches, making it worth experiencing more than once to uncover everything hidden beneath the surface.
Freedom Wars Remastered brings the PlayStation Vita action game to modern consoles with improved visuals, performance enhancements, and refined combat that feels great on PS5. The dystopian setting, where citizens are born with million-year sentences and must fight to reduce their punishment, remains compelling and unique. Combat is fast-paced, with grappling hooks, melee weapons, and firearms, combining to create dynamic battles against enormous abductors that can be dismantled for parts. Customization options for your character, weapons, and accessories let you optimize builds for different playstyles and mission requirements. The story explores themes of freedom, authority, and what people will do to survive in an oppressive system, with memorable characters and plot twists. Multiplayer missions support cooperative play, where teamwork becomes essential for taking down the largest, most dangerous enemies and completing objectives efficiently. New Cycle is a city-building survival strategy game set in a post-apocalyptic world, where you guide the last remnants of humanity through harsh seasons and dangerous threats. Resource management is critical, with food, water, and materials all needing careful allocation to keep your settlement alive through winters and disasters. The research tree lets you unlock new technologies that improve efficiency, defensive capabilities, and quality of life for citizens, who each have individual needs and morale. Random events and crises test your preparedness, from disease outbreaks to raider attacks, forcing you to make difficult decisions with limited information.
The cycle system creates dynamic gameplay, where each playthrough presents different challenges and opportunities based on what you've learned from previous attempts. Visual design effectively conveys the desperate struggle for survival, with a bleak aesthetic that highlights small victories when your settlement manages to thrive despite overwhelming odds.